Hi guys, I'm out in the tent and I wanted to show you the Liminal Forrest Oracle, and I'm not going to do like a full flip through just because there's so many of those out there, and I'm just out in my tent and my camera stand is being weird, but luckily I have light. So that's what I'm going to do. And the candles are not for any ritual purposes, it's just to give me light. So, alright, so first it comes in this cute, adorable, and it's like, I don't know if that's like an enamel, I don't know what it is, like cover on it. So it's like hard, and then there's this little lock. And then you open it up, and there's two pouches. We'll look at that one in a second. And then there's the book, okay. And it gives you all the information. I just love the artwork, and I love her art and her ideas. MJ Cullinane. I am so sorry I'm butchering your name, but I just like her style. I'm a very big fan of the Crow Tarot. So I use that one all the time. That's my go-to deck. So, and it's old and worn because I use it all the time, but that's okay. So anyway, so it comes in these little pouches, and I haven't been using this, and because I wanted to do like a whole flip through deck, but I just, you know, I'm impatient and I just didn't have time, and I didn't have a good camera, but these are the deck. This is the deck, and these are the cards. Okay, I'm just gonna kind of flip through and show you some of them. Okay. And then we'll do a quick reading, okay? Let me show you my favorite one. I like this one. It reminds me of the World card. They're just so pretty. And I'm outside and it's raining in the tent and I love it, so there's that. This one's a pretty card too. And if you can see like the themes, like they're very expressive. Transformation, storm. Where's my favorite card? But anyway, so I'm gonna do a quick thing with that too. Signs is pretty. And that's pretty good. Projection, procrastination, potential, past, peace. I don't know what I'm missing here. Intuition. I like that bat. Growth. Empathy. I like this one a lot. Dream. I'm trying to find my favorite card. Creativity. That's another one that reminds me of the World card. Courage. I think it's this one, like, because I seen this when I first started wanting to get the deck, and if you can see, like, you see the wolf, right, and then he is you know, to me he looks like he's kind of starving a little bit, and then, like, you know, but he's got to make it through to get past that sleeping bear, and this is the fear, right? So you've got to have courage of that looming fear. Oh, that's so beautiful. Competition. Compass. I love this one. It's cool. Reminds me of the star. See, I'm not one of those flip through people. So, but I think it's a really good deck. And there's people that do a good job of that. This one is beautiful. That one always reminds me of approach, anger, alignment, adrift, acclamation. And also in the deck, okay, there's this, which I think is really cool. It's another little bonus set, and they are, my kids got into these, so they're all out of order. But that's another reason why I had to even get this, so that way I can get it out there. But they're yes or no cards. So you go through, and you know they have quick decision, yes, no, maybe on them. But like the artwork is so cool in there. I would love to, like, reminds me of like the 1990s, like those messenger bags, you know. It would be kind of like this color, and it would have like patches and stuff. That's what it reminds me of. Or like Rage Against the Machine type colors. So that's pretty cool. I'm excited to put that into my videos, like in my readings. So the only thing is, sometimes I think when we get yes or no answers, we think that's final, and I don't think that's how it really is. I think it's just like, no, maybe you need to do it a different way. Okay. So before this video gets too long, alright. So I'm unfamiliar with the deck because I was holding off, which I kind of wish I didn't wait that long. I kind of wish I just would have winged it anyway, but let's just see. And you know how I am. I'm not a, I usually don't look at the books too much. And I feel like for right now, that's what I'm going to do, is just kind of get my feel of the cards. And then if I'm stumped, I'll look at the... I don't know why I do that. What does that say about me? That's not a good shuffle. So first one is the energy that we're presenting right now. These are brand new cards. They feel awesome. So, like my old school blankie I got on here. Okay, so we're going to do, this is our energy. Whether it be you, me, somebody, you know, the situation. This is the energy, the present energy. Let's just say that. Okay. And it just wants to give me like 75 cards. So I'm going to do one of these things. Alright. Cycles. Okay. Yeah, didn't we talk about that this morning? We are either finishing up, starting, or in the middle of a cycle, which we always are. Right? What is something that we need to work on? Hold on. And these cards are so new that they're not letting me shuffle. Ooh, safe harbor. Okay, so like if you see the little mouse, he's kind of like protecting himself, right? So maybe in these cycles, maybe we're in overly protective mode. That makes a lot of sense, because I do that sometimes. You know, we put up those walls and we overguard ourselves, and we don't need to. Right. I think this one came out. Transition. This is the energy that we have to work with. So we're in the middle of a transition, or we've just been through a transition, or there's some energy just kind of being available to us that can help us transition. I love that card. Alright, so and one more for the overall energy, if it will let me do it this way. Maybe it's more like balance, like we're giving up something that we used to cling to, or that we, you know, maybe we held close to our chest, or maybe those walls, you know what I mean? Maybe we're giving that up. We're allowing ourselves to be a little bit more vulnerable and accepting, you know, being receptive. Sometimes I think we can, we're okay with giving, but it's the receptive stuff. And I think a lot of times we think of that as being, you know, like, oh, I'm a giving person, I love, da-da-da-da. Or, I'm willing to do this, da-da-da. But if you're not willing to give, then you're also not giving. I read that somewhere. If you're not receiving. Because you don't give that other person or that situation or whatever a chance to have that same feeling of giving. So you're kind of robbing them of that feeling, because we know what that feeling feels like, right? And it feels good. So if you rob somebody else of that, in a way you're being selfish. This is a lesson I had to learn a long time ago, and it took me a little while to get it. I don't want to say a long time ago, but it took me a little while to get it, because you kind of put yourself in that cycle of what's the word? Sorry, you put yourself in that cycle of victimhood, where you're like, oh, well, I'm doing all this, da 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 da. Why aren't things turning out my way? Why aren't they the way I want them to be, right? But that's because that's safe, right? Keep ourselves safe, building those walls and creating this, I don't need to be vulnerable. I don't want to be vulnerable because of that, I'm okay if I just give, because then I don't have to worry about, things don't work out for me if I let myself be open. So, but transitioning into this energy of, giving. See how the little squirrel is giving to the owl, although he's probably doing that so the owl won't eat him. But it's also, that whole give and take, like Six of Coins type energy. Understanding the benefit of balance. And again, because not only do you win, but your loved ones, people in your situation, those people around you, people in your energetic reach, they benefit from it. So, because a lot of times I think people don't realize that that's what they're doing when they're overgiving. We do it, and I say we because this is something that I've had to overcome. And it's very hard when you have built walls and protected yourself since childhood. You don't realize that's what you're doing, but you are. And it's kind of like the whole meaning of unconditional love. And it's not, accepting everybody for everything that they do. So if they do something crappy, you don't just accept it. But it's more, I'm going to protect myself and my boundaries, but by doing that, I'm allowing myself to be vulnerable. Being like, okay, I'm going to give to you and to this situation and not expect anything back. I'm doing it because I love you, or I'm doing it because I respect you. I'm doing it because I have a passion for this. And if it doesn't work out, I need to be able to accept that. You can be sad and you can grieve for it, but taking that risk is part of the balance. So I kind of feel like that's where we're at. I was going to read the book, but that's what I got. Just looked at that, and that's what I feel like we're in. I feel like this has been like a huge cycle that I think personally, and I feel like collectively we are all kind of learning that, like, that whole cycle where they're talking about the change of like the ages, going from that domineering me phase. And that's another thing too that this kind of reminds me of too. The situation is, I remember being told that and I was all hurt. My feelings were all hurt, and I was like, well, why aren't you treating me this way, or why aren't you doing it this way? And it was about me. It had nothing to do with like because I was giving and giving and giving, and I wanted to be given the same way. And people don't do that. You have to meet people where they're at. And once you understand that, and you see people expressing and doing things in their own way, it's that much more meaningful. So, all right, I think that's what I'm getting. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you guys later.